to attend. Okay, so let's get started. So questions to ask now. What day and time will my session be taking place? Is my session traditional or interactive? Do I have my session partner's contact information? Have I begun preparing my presentation? So if we don't have the answer to any of these questions, if we're confused about any of these questions, how to get any of the information to answering these questions, we all need to log into the speaker portal and make sure that we are getting these question answers. As we go through, I will kind of guide you on how to find those if you haven't already, but these are questions you need to be asking and you need to have the answers to right now. We're about, at this point, almost 2 weeks out from WebTech. We'll all be on site soon. So these are things you need to know before you arrive. So moderators and facilitators. By this point, you should have had a call with your entire session. So if you're an assistant, if you're a lead moderator, facilitator, all of your speakers, all of you should have been able to meet at this point. Contact information is available in the speaker portal. So when you log in and you're viewing your session blocks, what sessions you're assigned to, if you click on that session title, it'll open up your full session agenda. Each presentation will be there with the speaker's name. You can click on the speaker's name and you can find their contact information, email. If they've put a phone number in there, it should be in there as well, along with their bio. So all you have to do, click on their name in your session agenda, and that information will come up. So if you have not met with your speakers or your fellow or your assistant moderators, lead moderators, everyone who's in your session, please do so now. It's imperative that you all meet prior to WebTech so that everyone's on the same page when you arrive. Make sure you familiarize yourself with your speakers and the session agenda. You as a moderator will be leading the flow of the session. It's important for you to know what order the presentations will be given and what topics your speakers will be discussing, all of that. As the leader of the session, it's important for you to have information and be able to answer questions your speakers may have. If you're an interactive session, in your session's description at the bottom, it will say what kind of interactive session. We previously had an interactive session training. If you weren't able to participate in it, please make sure you go on webtech.org and watch the recording of it or review the slides so you know how to lead that interactive activity that will be taking place during your session. It's also important for you to meet to make sure there's minimal replication of information. We want the presentations to flow together and form one full session. We don't want speaker presentations to be repetition of the same information back to back to back. That's why it's important to meet with your speakers, coordinate, say who's going to cover what perspective is somebody going to cover this from. Those different things should be discussed before you arrive on site in WebTech. If you've gone in, you got your speaker's contact information, you've reached out to them and they are not responsive, email us at speakers@wef.org. We will try to reach out for you. Speakers, if you haven't been contacted yet, you also can go into the speaker portal, click on your session title, the agenda will pop up. Your moderator facilitators' names will be there. You can click on their names to get their contact information. If they haven't reached out to you, we empower you to reach out to them first. If you want to take the first step, you are more than welcome to if you haven't been able to meet with your moderator yet. You should also familiarize yourself with the agenda, know which order all of the presentations will be given in, know which order you will be presenting in. So if you're the first speaker, second speaker, last speaker, make sure you have that information. And then as you start to build your presentation, make sure you think of yourself as a facilitator of learning, not just a speaker or a lecturer. You know, everyone attending WebTech will be an adult. They're all adult learners. So you want to facilitate them adding on to their professional development, adding information they can take back home with them and apply to their jobs. So we want to make sure that it's knowledge that can be shared through the group of with the group of attendees, not just talking at them. Things to think about as you put your presentation slides together. Okay. Speakers, the presentation template is available in the speaker portal. We recommend using the template. However, it is not required, but it is convenient to have. In the speaker portal, once you go in, before you scroll down to look at your sessions, there is a big paragraph of a lot of downloadables for all types of speakers. Moderators have their packet, speakers have a packet, Pavilion speakers, you all have your own packet. All those downloadables are available. At the very bottom of that chunk of information is your presentation template. So make sure you go into the speaker portal, look through those downloadables, download, if you haven't yet, download the ones that are relevant to you, and make sure you download the presentation template as well. It's there for you, it's ready for you. When you begin making your presentation, make sure you review the learning objectives of your session. They're available if you click on your agenda. Underneath the description, learning objectives are there as well. And remember, less is more in a PowerPoint. We don't want slides with huge chunks of text that people in the back of the room won't be able to see, or big graphs with a lot of small points and text on them that people won't be able to read in the back of the room. Less is more. So if you can put maybe one sentence, two sentences, maybe 3 bullets on your slides, and then talk to those points in more detail, that is going to benefit the audience more than trying to squeeze a whole bunch of text onto one slide that they won't be able to see in the room. Just an update on presentation upload. It is not available yet in the speaker portal. We are waiting on it. Once it is ready, we will send out a notification to you that will tell you that you can upload your presentation. Each speaker will be able to upload directly into their own slot in the presentation upload system. So you don't need to worry about giving it a specific name file convention or anything like that. Once it's available, we'll email everyone to let you know. You'll be able to log in. There's a button that will take you to where you upload it to. It's very straightforward and simple once you get it. So just wait for that notification, and then you can upload your slides. We just recommend you start working on them now, and then when upload it becomes available, you can drop it in, whether it's a draft or not. Moderators and facilitators, when presentation upload becomes available, you will also be able to access the presentation upload. You don't have to upload anything, but you'll be able to view all of your speakers uploads, and you'll be able to review their slides as well. So that's what it'll be used for you. Okay. Really, really important points here. Speakers, you want to make sure you go in and update your information. So really big differentiation here. That's super important. If you're not a WEF member, you can simply go into the speaker portal and you can update all of your information. So company information, title, and phone number, you can update all of that information, make sure it's correct. If you are a WEF member, if you've ever had a WEF membership, so even if your WEF membership is inactive, all of your information in the speaker portal is pulling from your WEF membership profile. So if you've gone into the speaker portal as a WEF member and updated your information there, and the next time you log in, it's incorrect again, it's because you use the WEF membership database to log into the speaker portal. So you need to update your information in your WEF membership profile. It'll automatically update the information everywhere else. So please, if you're a WEF member, if you've been a WEF member in the past, if you're using your WEF member to log into the speaker portal, go into your WEF membership profile, update your company title, email address, anything that needs to be updated, update it there, and it will automatically pull over. If you continue to update it within the speaker portal as a WEF member, the information won't take and it'll continue to be incorrect. So please make sure you update it in your WEF membership profile. Contact number, make sure everyone adds a cell phone number so that your session partners, moderators, other speakers can contact you if there's last minute changes on site if they need to. So when you add your cell phone number, it's not visible publicly, so it won't be in the mobile app or online planner. Only your moderator, facilitator, other speakers will be able to view that information, just as an FYI. But it's good to have it because sometimes we have moderators who get on site and they haven't had contact with their speakers and they're emailing them, but not everyone has access to their email while they're in the convention center. It's just good and convenient for somebody to have your cell phone number. They can shoot you a quick text or call you and let you know if there's been changes. Lastly, speaker bio. Everyone who's a speaker needs to upload their speaker bio into the speaker portal. On the dashboard, there is a menu option. I believe it says input your introduction / photo, or upload your introduction / photo, something along those lines. If you go there, you'll be able to drop in your bio and upload a photo as well. So new for this year, 2025, WEF will not be printing the speaker bios and providing them in the moderator and facilitator folders this year. So if you are a moderator or facilitator, it is your responsibility to either go into the speaker portal and review your speaker bios. You can print them, you can screenshot them, however you prefer to grab your speaker bios, or you can pull them up via the mobile app. So that is why it's going to be doubly important for speakers to go in to the speaker portal and upload their bios. Every year when we would print bios, there would be a good chunk of speakers who never provided their bios, and then we would print the bios for moderators and facilitators, and maybe 25%, 30% of the speaker bios would be missing because they were never uploaded. So speakers, please make sure that you upload it because moderators are going to be going into the system to find your bios so they can introduce you before your presentation. All right. If you are participating in an interactive session, make sure you have confirmed which activity will take place during your session in your description of your session that is visible in the mobile app. There is a second paragraph that lets attendees know which activity will be taking place during this session. So please make sure you keep to this activity as it is what the audience will be expecting. They've read the description, they look at it, they say, oh, it's going to be a panel discussion or it's going to be a facilitated discussion. And then they come in. If it's something else, it's a little disorienting for them. So make sure you keep to the activity that is listed in your session's description. When you meet with your speakers, if you haven't already, prepare presentations to include the session's activity. So speakers, it's important for you also to know what activity. So those of you in interactive sessions, if you're in a facilitated discussion, you got 15 minutes for your slides, and then you got 15 minutes for your activity. So in total, you have 30 minutes, but you want to make sure your 15 minutes of that activity are connected into your presentation. So make sure that you all have prepared for your engagement activities. If you were not able to attend the interactive session training earlier this year, please go on to weftech.org and make sure you watch that training, download the slides. There's also an interactive guidance document available in the speaker portal for download. So if you are in an interactive session, please make sure that you prepare accordingly with the materials we've provided. Pavilion sessions. Um, so for the first time ever, you all will be coming to the speaker prep room, and you will also be using the speaker portal. So first things first, if you haven't yet, you should have gotten an email with your login information to the speaker portal and a link to log in. If you're a WEF member, you can log in via the via your WEF membership information. But make sure you log in, review what your session is, what day your session will be on, and what time your session will be happening. Also get your booth number for when it's time you go to the right booth on the expo floor. In the speaker portal, we've also provided a guidance document for you. So make sure you go in, download the Circular Water Economy Innovation Pavilion Speaker Guidance document that will give you step-by-steps on everything you need to do to prepare for speaking at WebTech. And also you'll need to prepare your slides. You guys should also download the presentation template that's available. Use that, and you will also get an email when presentation upload is available. And you can go and you will this year be uploading your presentations via presentation upload. And then on site, you will need to come to the speaker prep room. If you have any changes, you can upload your final slides there. So you all will be coming to the presentation or the speaker prep room this year. You no longer need to go straight to the pavilion and upload your presentations on like a USB or anything like that. Just make sure you're aware of the differences. This is only for Circular Water Economy Theater and Innovation Pavilion speakers on the expo floor. Okay. So I know I've been talking a lot about all of our trainings and webtech.org. Here we're providing a link to that website. I'll also drop it in the chat once we're finished going through all of the slides. This is where you can find all of your training videos that we've done throughout the year. If you weren't able to attend, please make sure you watch those that are relevant to you. One that's really, really going to be helpful is the speaker portal orientation. That will give you a step-by-step on where to find everything. If you need to upload your bio, if you need to upload your photo, if you need to change the speaker, if you need to change your presentation title and how it's listed in the speaker portal. That speaker portal connects to the mobile app. So you want to make sure all of your information is correct. That speaker portal orientation video and the accompanying slides is going to give you a step-by-step of how to do almost everything that you need to do in the speaker portal. So if you weren't able to attend any of the trainings, including the Aura Speaker Portal Orientation, interactive session training, there's moderator facilitator training, all of those videos are available on this website, webtech.org, and you can watch all of those videos before we arrive on site. This will also be posted there as well after this recording, so you can rewatch this if you need to. Okay, I'm gonna pause for a second before we move on to the next portion. I'll take a peek at the chat. Sorry. See if we have any questions. If we've attended these sessions in the past year. These briefings are mandatory for everyone, especially because we have new information every year. So if we have updates every year and you don't attend this and then you get on site, you don't know what's going on. That's why we have these mandatory. Will the presentation be sourced on a laptop from the cloud? Information doesn't work well from the cloud. When you upload your presentation into the speaker portal, it goes into our presentation management system that the AV team will be using on site. So when you're on site, there's computers there as well. So if you need to make changes, you can come to the speaker prep room. We'll have a place where you can upload your presentation if there's changes, make changes to it if you need to. Those computers in the presentation management system connect directly to the session rooms. So you won't need to do like a cloud or anything. There will be taps already set up in the session rooms. If you're a pavilion speaker, there will be a laptop already set up there, and it connects directly to our presentation management system, and it will automatically upload your presentation that you've either provided in the speaker portal or from the speaker prep room. It connects directly. So there's no, if you have an animation, I recommend embedding it into the PowerPoint, because the Wi-Fi isn't great. So typically when you embed it, it works better that way. Will speakers present if they are scheduled at the pavilion? Will it be at a booth? Do the presentation for pavilion sessions? The pavilion session technically has a booth number because it's on the expo floor, but it's kind of set up like a almost theater. It has screens. The presentation slides need to develop. I mean, your slides are your own, but we just have a template so it matches the WEFTech branding. It's not required for you to use that template if you don't need to. And then for facilitator moderator, some pavilion sessions have a facilitator moderator, some do not. I would check in the speaker portal, click on your session title, and review your session details. If you have additional questions, just email speakers@wef.org. We can help you out. Presentation slides seem to have just slide for the body, does not have a cover slide. Yeah, there's no need to have a special cover slide. You can just, I mean, I think if you do like new slide and you press cover, one should be available, but there's no need to like have a required cover slide or anything like that. As a moderator, where do we find the link for the submitted presentations? Will it be the same like as the submitted papers in the That will be, so when speaker upload becomes available, moderators will have the same button. It'll say like, click here to upload your presentations. You guys can just click that button and you can go in and review all of the slides that have, or the presentations that speakers have submitted. So you'll just go into the same system where they upload it. You'll have access to everything. Okay, yes. So thanks, Maggie. Okay. I think
Oh, I got a quick question. I apologize. I tap it in the chat when I'm driving. Are you allowed to have a short, like 10 or 15-second embedded video? Will that play, or do you not?
yeah, if you embed it into the PowerPoint, it should play. We just don't recommend like linking it to an outside website. Sometimes the Wi-Fi in the convention center isn't great just because of the amount of people that are on site.
Okay.
So if you embed it, absolutely okay.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. All right, let's continue with the slides. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Looks like Maggie's there and answering some. And then we'll chat at the end for more questions if you have them as we move along. Okay, arriving on site at WEFTech. First up, make sure you go into the registration hall and pick up your badge. That's super important. And then after you pick up your badge, immediately after, let's check in at the speaker prep room. It'll be S406B, level 4. Those of you who've spoken or moderated, facilitated with us before, you know it's at the end of the super long hallway. So just keep walking until you can't anymore. And then moderators and facilitators, there will be one folder for your session. So one of you will need to pick it up. Once you pick up your folder, that is going to be your checking in. So if you have like 3 moderators and facilitators, including assistants in your session, feel free to decide amongst yourselves who wants to pick up the session folder and check it out. And then you guys can also go to the computers that are available in the presentation or the prep room, and you can review your speaker presentations while you're on site at WebTech. So sometimes the speaker hasn't uploaded a draft before they arrive on site. When we all get on site, you can also go to the computers in the prep room and you can review presentations there. Speakers. Your job. So new this year, we won't have a check-in board for speakers. Some of you who've spoken before know that you usually come in, you highlight your presentation title. We're not doing that this year. Your job as a speaker is to go in to the speaker prep room, go to the computer station, confirm your presentation has been uploaded, or if you have a new version, upload that new version. This is how your moderators and facilitators are going to know that you're there and you're speaking. Sometimes we get on site and maybe an hour before a session, a moderator, can't find their speaker and then no presentation has been uploaded and the speaker's, planning to upload it like 30 minutes before the session starts. We want to do away with that. So this year, first thing you need to do, even if it's a draft version, come to the speaker prep room, visit the computer stations, upload, even if it's a draft version, some version of your slides so that your moderator and facilitator know that you are there and you will be giving a presentation. Remember, the computers in the prep room are connected to the computers in the session rooms. So if you need to make changes at any point, you can always come back and upload a new version. USB uploads will not be available in the session room, so do not plan to take your presentation on USB to the session room. You need to upload it either via the speaker portal or via the computers on site in the speaker prep room. And please make sure you upload them as soon as possible so that your moderator knows that you're there. This is just reiterating information. Speakers, first thing you do, come and upload your presentation. Final versions can be uploaded in the prep room. We recommend uploading your final version at least 24 hours before your presentation, just so you guys have wiggle room in case anything happens. And then presentation review. Moderators, facilitators, after you pick up your session folder, go ahead to the computer station area and you can review all of the slides that your presenters have uploaded and confirm that they're there and they plan to speak. Okay. Now let's talk about attending your session. We want everyone, moderators, facilitators, speakers, everyone who's participating to arrive 15 to 20 minutes early to the session room. WebTech attendees are early birds. 15 to 20 minutes is kind of, being a little gracious. They tend to start arriving 30 minutes prior to a session, WebTech attendees. So it's important for you to get there early, get familiar with the room layout, greet attendees as they enter, especially important for interactive sessions. You'll be having engaging activities during your session. It's good for you to be there early and kind of warm up the audience members as they enter the room. If you guys have handouts, you can get a jump on handing out your materials before the session begin. You can kind of guide people to move a little closer to the front if they want to participate more in the activity. It's just good to get in there, get familiar with the room. Speakers, get in there, make sure the correct version of your slides has been uploaded. Make sure your slides are coming up on the screen and make sure everything is set before the session begins. So everyone, please make sure you arrive to your session room 15 to 20 minutes early, if possible, a little earlier. Let's talk about session etiquette. We got a few things that are do's that we want you all to do during your session that are best practices. Respect the time of other every speaker has 30 minutes. Unless it's like a super, super interactive panel or something like that. All of you have your dedicated time. Please, please, please stick to that dedicated time. It's unfair if you are supposed to be speaking for 30 minutes, you go over to 45 minutes, and now another speaker only has 15 minutes. Please make sure you stick to your time. Moderators will have time cards, so make sure you keep an eye on your moderator and pay attention when that time card goes up. Just make sure you respect the time card. Be open to interacting with the audience. So, especially in an interactive session, be willing to take comments, questions, even if it's mid presentation. It's okay to kind of let the session flow a little bit rather than sticking to just reading your slides verbatim. Provide succinct answers to questions. If we have a super, super long question, which we tend to get, and you know immediately you are not going to be able to answer this question quickly, it's okay to say, in order for me to provide a good response to that question, it would take a lot of time. Please meet with me after the session. I'll provide my contact information and I can answer that question at a later time. That is okay. We may only have a certain time limit for discussion and questions in our interactive sessions. In a traditional session, you've got maybe 5 minutes or so before the next speaker has to come on. It is okay to just say, we don't have time for that because we want to get to the next presenter and want them to have all of their time. Let's follow up with that after the session. Lastly, make sure that you stay in your session to support other speakers and keep discussion moving. If you are the first speaker in a session, please stay for the full allotted time. If your session starts at 1:30 and it ends at 3, we need you in that session room from 1:30 to 3 p.m., especially because at the conclusion of the session, we always get an attendee that says, I had a question, but my speaker left and I couldn't find them after the session. I don't know where they went. And the attendees are there to support you. They have questions. They want to engage with you more. Please stay to the end of the session. And you also support the other speakers. They are there. They engage with your presentation. Please show them the same respect. This especially goes for interactive sessions. You all should have met by now. If you haven't yet, please do. But you're there to keep discussion moving. If maybe we need to warm up the audience, you have your other speakers to help ask questions, spark discussion. You all are a team to keep that interactive session flowing. So it's important that all speakers, all moderators, all facilitators are staying in the session for the full session time. Don'ts. Please do not interrupt or speak over other attendees, moderators, and speakers. If another speaker, please let them finish their thought. Moderators, if you need to cut them short, kind of throw up that time card. They're ignoring the time card. Then just say, wait till they finish their sentence and say, okay, thank you. We need to move on. But try not to cut people off mid-sentence. It kind of creates a not fun, vibrant atmosphere in the session room, and attendees can feel that. Try not to show favoritism towards certain session participants. I know we always love when someone is super engaged, asking a bunch of questions and keeping the flow going, but we want to make sure that there are other attendees who may have a thought or a question aren't getting drowned out by one person. So please try like a 3 before me rule. If you've picked someone, try to get 3 other people before you come back to that attendee who's showing or who's adding a lot of conversation points or adding a lot of questions. And lastly, do not express judgment or dislike verbally or non-verbally. Body language, super important. Creates an impression with attendees, other speakers. Just try to reserve your judgment for a while you're in that session, um, and keep things flowing on a positive note. Okay. For your speakers, when it comes time for your presentation, some important notes that you want to remember that will just benefit you. Really quick things. After your moderator facilitator reads your bio, when you get up to that podium, reintroduce yourself. Kind of like remind people who you are, what you're talking about. Remind your attendees that you wrote a paper and it's available in the conference proceedings. You spend your time writing it, you want people to see it. All of the attendees will have access to the conference proceedings after the conference ends. So make sure you remind them that your full paper is available in the conference proceedings and that they can go and download and read that. Be open to questions and conversation from the audience. Always be open to making new connections. Provide your contact information. On your last slide, just drop an email for those who may have questions and didn't get a chance to ask them, especially, like I said, in those traditional sessions where there's not a lot of discussion moments. Make sure you provide your contact information. So if someone's sitting in the back corner, they didn't get to ask questions, or maybe someone's a little more introverted and they don't want to ask questions in front of a room full of people, just drop your email address on your last slide so that they can take that down and contact you later. Lastly, always thank your moderators and facilitators. Moderators and facilitators, few session notes for you all. 1, ask people not to set items on chairs and to sit next to each other. This is especially important on Monday. If you are a Monday session, especially those who have participated in What's Tech before, you know, Monday sessions, the rooms always get to capacity and we want to get as many people in as possible. We can't have people standing due to fire marshal guidelines. So make sure every seat possible is open. Backpacks, laptops, brochures, any giveaways they got from the expo hall. Please have people move those off of the chairs and onto the floor, onto their laps, so that we can get as many people in as possible. Have people scoot in. I know it's a little awkward sitting next to people you don't know, but we don't want one random chair in the middle of the room that no one can see empty when one person's waiting outside to get into that session. Have everyone move in and get their belongings off of the chairs, get as many people in as possible. Reiterate and summarize major learning points. So if we want to do a closing thoughts at the end of the sessions, for interactive sessions, if you got discussions, you're always gonna reiterate, do a wrap up, closing thoughts. We can do the same in traditional sessions as well. Just what was the high level point that we can take away from this session, take back with us. Make sure to thank the participants for attending the session at the end of the session. Remind them to complete a survey in the mobile app about the session. And then lastly, in your moderator folder will be your personal session evaluation form about how the session went. You all need to fill that form out and bring it back with you to the speaker prep room when you return your folder. There will be a form per moderator. So if you got 3 moderators in one session, there'll be 3 of you that need to fill out an evaluation form. Lastly, some helpful information during your session. Reminders: attire is business casual. Make sure you bring your business card and a water bottle. There's refill stations all throughout the convention center. Registration: please make sure you register. All speakers who are in technical sessions, you need to register as a full conference with a full conference registration. If you are a pavilion, innovation pavilion, or circular water economy circular water economy theater speaker, you are able to get an expo only because your sessions will be on the expo floor. However, that means you will not be able to enter any of the technical sessions. So if you just want to do expo only and do your presentation, that's fine. But if you want to attend other WebTech activities, please make sure you get the correct badge. But if you're in a technical session, you have to get a full conference badge. That is the badge that's allowed in the tech session room. And then remember, pick up your badge before you come to the speaker prep room. There's kind of security throughout the convention center. They tend to stop people going to places if they don't have the appropriate badge. So I know we all will get excited, want to come to the speaker prep room, pick up our folders, upload presentations, but just make sure that you grab your badge from the registration desk first. I'm pretty sure you'll probably pass the registration area before coming to the speaker prep room. So just stop by first and get your badge before you head over. And then moderators, make sure you return your session folder. Please, please, please. We reuse items for the next year, especially time cards. And then we use those session evaluation forms to help us create sessions for the next year. So fill out your session evaluation form, just tuck it into the folder, and then bring your folder back with your time cards. That concludes the briefing information. I did see some more comments in the chat, so we can answer some questions from there if Maggie hasn't answered them already. And then, will you share these slides? Yes, these slides will be available on weftech.org along with the other trainings. For the Tech Spotlight Theater, do we upload in the speaker prep room or the Tech Spotlight Theater? Tech Spotlights, you'll upload in the Tech Spotlight Theater. So for you guys, I would say bring a USB, just the easiest thing there. Only sessions on the expo floor that will upload in the speaker prep room are for Innovation Pavilion and Circular Water Economy Theater. Can we leave bags, luggage in the speaker prep room if needed? We have had people do that before. It's up to you. Usually the AV team is in there. Myself and Cabria will be in there, but occasionally we do have to run out to different sessions and things. So I can't say that someone will be having eyes on your luggage 24/7. So completely up to your discretion. A lot of people just take it with them to the session room if they're speaking. Can you mention again when the presentation portal will be open for uploads? I don't have a date yet, unfortunately. I'm hoping by the end of the week, but you'll get an email when it's open. You'll get an email notification as soon as it's open, and then you'll be able to upload. Unfortunately, I can't tell you all a date yet, though. Okay. Do you have any other questions? Feel free to raise your hand if you don't want to write in the chat. We can call on people. I'm going to drop a link to where you can find all the trainings on weftech.org into the Zoom chat for you all. Okay. So in the chat, that's the link that will allow you to view where all of our trainings from the past are. This training and the slides will also be on that website, probably by the end of the day today, fingers crossed, if not early morning tomorrow. Okay, do we have any other questions? I don't see any hands raised. Okay. If there's no other questions, we can go ahead and end today's briefing. If you all think of questions later, always email speakers@wef.org. Myself, Maggie, Nancy, a few of us check that inbox. So that's going to be the fastest way to get a response for us. But other than that, I'll give you guys about 10 minutes of your day back. Thank you all for joining.